Yeah, Storm from Africa TV. Keep it locked right now. You can definitely check out the gear, check out everything, support the cause. What's going on? I go by the name of the capital ZIP LOKS, representing the Butta Baby family, Ill Groove Garden Foundation, Montreal Massive Music. That's how we do it, right here, worldwide.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna get into it, man. I mean, like, I've been, following the Butta Babies for like years now, and honestly, it seems like you guys have disappeared, yo. Like, what happened?
Well, this is what the deal is. Butta Babies, really, Butta Babies grew out of this radio station right here. This is really the foundation, actually. Between this studio and my boy D Hybrid's basement is where we really just grew up from there. So, we've kind of gone through different changes and different DJs that come in and pass through Ill Groove Garden and through, Butta Babies to a certain extent. We have people kind of connected to. We got Motion, we got Raid, of course, Foundation DJ, we got the Hybrid. We even had Blast to do some stuff for us. But that's really the family, right? So family never breaks up or goes anywhere separate. It might move or be in different places. But right now, Montreal is actually down in Philadelphia, and he's working on some education movements right now. He's doing some teaching, and he's doing some work down at Temple University. All again connected with some hip hop. I'm still based out here in Montreal, doing my thing with teens and youth, and working with music and children, and just keeping the vibe here on Ill Groove Garden.
So I want to talk about some of the classic stuff, man. Like Understand Yourself. Like,
yes.
when that track came out, like what was like, I guess, like the mindset or just like the rhythm of Montreal at that moment?
Wow, I remember that was one of Understand Yourself was probably one of our first videos done as Butta Babies crew. We all done some individual stuff, but it was our first real Butta Baby session, and we did that. We shot a lot of that in St. Henry. We made sure to kind of give little shout outs to different areas. Did some shots in Burgundy, did some shots uptown, Caribbean Curry House, of course, uptown famous landmark, my crib. We did it. We just tried to get everybody involved in it. I think we were real young and excited at that point in time, and really this was like our first step onto the national scene. Back then, even the internet wasn't as big now. Now you can really get across country with just releasing a video on YouTube. But back then, if you wanted to go nationwide, you had to go and get that on Much Music. And that was a goal from the beginning. We got a video fact grant, got a bit of video facts. Definitely Canada is on top of that when it comes to supporting the Canadian artists. So what we did is when we got that, put that out nationwide, that really was like the birth of Butta Babies to a lot of people that never got a chance to see us, and that opened up a lot of doors for us. Traveling out to Toronto many times, Vancouver, Philadelphia, New York, just based off a lot of the hype from that, and then the other videos to follow just kept rolling. Man in Motion, we had You Don't Want It, and the remix. We just kept it going. So that's what Butta Babies, and we're still keeping it going. We may take a pause, you may not hear from us every day, but again, you can always listen every week. Ill Groove Garden, Montreal is doing his thing down in Philly. Check out his new stuff, request it on Much Music, Much Vibe. Check it out on YouTube, everything, trust me. Still doing shows too. Holler at us for shows. You got money? Holler at us for shows. Holler.
Yeah. I guess let's talk about like Montreal. I mean, like back then, that era versus now. Like, what kind of like progression or regression or anything that you have seen?
You talking from Montreal artists?
Yeah.
Well, wow. I think nowadays, like I said, the biggest influence on people is the internet and kind of the technology of how music's made. Now it's a lot easier. Everybody and their mama can like record in a recording studio because everybody's got it. And you can use your iPhone and record tracks or try to record videos or whatever else. Back then you had to get into a real studio to even just make a beat. Now you can do it on whatever computer you got. You can make beats or try to make beats. But, back then, we really had to get your money up. I got a big up Bandit Records, my man Lynn and Salandi. Definitely build a foundation for us to be able to go into a studio, access equipment, access recording time, and get the music out there. New films for actually shooting videos for us. Back then, we're talking big time dollars videos. Nowadays, you're shooting a video with a little camera you're holding in your hand. That you bought a Future Shot. So, the playing level is different. So I think that's all cool because it gives kids more access, but you got a lot more music out there. And just because there's more music doesn't necessarily mean it's better music or good music. There's a lot more out there, So you got more competition in a certain way. But to stay on top, you gotta be different, you gotta come up with something new. Because like I said, everybody can shoot a video. It's not, you know, anybody can come and say, yo, I got a track on CD and I've got, you know, a video. That's nothing nowadays. You to do that back in the day, or even just the fact that DJs back then, they wanted vinyl. If you wanted a real DJ to play your shit, you needed vinyl. And we were pressing vinyl back then. You don't need to press vinyl now. They just say, yeah, people come to me, they say, I want my shit playing on, my stuff playing on Il Groove Garden. They say, okay, email me the MP3. So things are different, it's a lot easier. But, you know, like I said, it's all a balance.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to get into like Montreal history in terms of like cultural. Now I've been hearing about like Bill 101.
True.
And like I know that like at one point like Montreal, I guess, was just like the spot to be, and then something happened in Montreal, and then Toronto pretty much became that spot to go to or whatever. So I guess if you can touch on that.
Well, Montreal has always been a big foundation, especially to the urban community. There was a lot of jazz things going on during the Prohibition days. Actually, a lot of cats from New York, especially from Harlem, used to come up to Montreal because at that point they couldn't sell alcohol there. So people would say, okay, let's go and party at night. Where's the quickest big town to New York City? So they'd drive up to Montreal, spend the weekend, and some people ended up staying here or, you know, just doing music here. And they used to come up here, and that really built a little bit of a foundation of blacks in Montreal. So, you know, that's just how Montreal started to grow, but it continues to grow in different ways. Again, you talk about Bill 101, that was back, you know, in the 70s, 80s, when there was a big political debate about whether you could live in Quebec and only speak English, it had to be French, or we're going to separate, become a separate nation of Quebec. And a lot of people got worried and said, you know what, we only speak English, let's take our stuff down the road. So they went down the 401 off to Toronto, and, you know, that helped build Toronto. You got a lot of, again, you talk to the urban scene, got a lot of Toronto foundation, a lot of Toronto people that are foundation Montreal, starting from scratch, RG, all kind of people, Tara Chase, that are originally from Montreal but moved out to Toronto. And especially on the music tip, Toronto has always had, you know, an industry. Like, they actually have an industry. They have people who work, their business is doing music. Like, that's their job, J.O.B. The 9 to 5 is a record company. In Montreal, you don't find that so much. You have people who, you know, they do their day job or whatever else, but they do music. The more musicians that try to do music, not business people that, you know, deal in the business of music. So, even back in the day, we used to come up to Toronto, it was a definitely different vibe. It was like checking out people that, you know, that, again, like I said, that's their business, so you have to come in with a different mentality. In Montreal, we're always kind of known for kind of being a little bit laid back, but Toronto taught me hustle hard, man. You want something, you got to get at, you got to work hard at it. So myself, man-child biter, Ray used to study our books, used to go into chapters, buy up books about music, just to study exactly what we're going to do, how to get out a 12-inch, how to promote you know, a CD, how to do this, how to market yourself. Yeah, then at that point, internet, how to tap into the internet. So all these different things we kind of studied and learned from hustling hard in Toronto. So I got to big up all my Toronto people. Motion, what's up? Jay Wise, what's up?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
What are some of the first things that come to mind when you hear Stolen from Africa?
Stolen from Africa. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind, Bob Marley. Bob Marley's lyrics, Stolen from Africa. And that's basically what it is. You know, I work with young kids, and I even took that song and Dreadlock Rasta, Stolen from Africa. And I had to teach these kids, they're like 7 to 12-year-old kids of all kind of different descents about the lyrics of that. And, you know, that kind of is a vivid description, like you know, you mentioned when you think stolen Africa, you think slavery, because that's really what it was. He's talking about we were stolen from Africa, brought to America. And that's really what happened. But, you know, like I was even saying on the radio, stolen from Africans. It's still going on. Just because we are from Africa, you got the hip-hop industry that's getting some of it sold. I don't even want to call it stolen, but some people straight up sold their soul, you know, to do a lot of different things. Africans here in North America, and even still in the continent itself. So, you know, the concept and, you know, the whole stolen or you know, almost robbed situation is still going on. So, you know, I think Stolen from Africa is okay. You know what? I recognize the fact that that's what happened, but this is what we are today. So that's why I'm stolen from Africa, but I'm representing right here in Montreal.
Yeah.